Hello, second graders. Today we are going to put ourselves in the shoes of a geologist. We are going to conduct a streak test, which is what actual geologists use to identify minerals in rock. So first we are going to start out our lesson today with our exploration stage. If you notice, I have 4 different rocks here in front of me, and we're going to get into this in just a little bit by doing the streak test with them. First, I want us to make sure that we know the science words to know today. The first word we have on our list is streak. This is a mark that is produced by some rocks when rubbed against a harder surface. Our second word is minerals, which are parts that make up rocks. And then lastly, we have chalk, which is a rock that we write with, which is much like what our teachers use in a real classroom to write on a chalkboard. So we are going to start exploring our rocks by quickly picking up each rock just to observe what it looks like, just to get ourselves a little bit familiar with the rocks that we're going to use today. Next, we are going to actually do a streak test with each one of our rocks and reference our T-chart in a minute to find out which rocks left a streak and which rocks didn't. So we're going to start out first by doing rock 1, which, as you can notice, does leave a streak. Our second rock, which is a reddish-brown color, I'm very interested to see what this one leaves. If you can look a little bit, it's kind of hard to tell, but it leaves a brownish-purple streak. Next, we have rock number 3, which doesn't seem to leave much of a streak on our surface. And lastly, we have rock number 4, which really looks like it leaves a pretty good chalk mark. So what we're going to do now is we're going to remember that we had rock 1 that left a streak, rock 2 that left a streak, but remember, that was the colored streak. Rock 3 was our only rock that did not leave a streak. And lastly, rock number 4 left a streak, and it was our most clear streak. So what you would be doing if you did this on your own, you would record each rock that left a streak and each rock that didn't, which is listed on our chart. What we're going to talk about now is our rock number 4 and why might it left the best streak mark. If you remember, we talked about the word chalk, which is a rock that we write with. I think that there is some evidence of chalk inside of our rock here, which leads me to believe that is why it left one of the best streaks out of all 4 of our rocks. So our objective today is that we learned that not all rocks leave a streak. We're going to end our lesson with doing a little bit of an expansion. I want you to go out and find your own rocks and conduct your own streak test. Come back, and we're going to evaluate what you learned from our lesson today to conduct your own streak test. I want to end our lesson today with this question. I want you to think a little bit of a food for thought about why might, outside of the classroom, a streak test with rocks might be beneficial. Thank you for joining me today on our lesson about rocks.